Hey, so it has been a while since I made a video. I apologize. We've been out of town, and honestly, it's been maybe going on 4 years since I built this tank. And to do it again, I would make it half size because it is so much work. I don't really have time to make videos while I'm doing it. I barely have the time to do the regular maintenance on it sometimes, so I do everything myself. So today's Sunday, and I need to catch up on the tank. So I was out of town. I came back last weekend, I did a water change. Everything's pretty much good. I've been having a little bit of a phosphate problem, so I cleaned out the saltwater station a few times before I left. I have a roughly 20-25 foot PEX tube that does the autofill. Last week I cleaned that out with citric acid and cleaned the autofill system. So that should take care of it. I'm experimenting with carbon-based foods, and what happens is that can drop your ORP, your oxygen residence in the tank, and it indeed did that. I tried a half dose, it was fine. I tried a full dose, and half my snails died. So now I'm doing a water change this week because I've got elevated nitrate and phosphate in the tank, which phosphate's pretty easy. I use a product from Captivate called Eliminate PO, and this will use your skimmer to get the phosphate out of there. Yeah, I can go about this two ways. I could dose some things from Captivate called, I want to say it's Eliminate or Remediate, and that will lower that'll lower both the phosphate and the nitrate. So, or I can do the water change. I'm kind of trying to do an ionic balance right now where my calcium is really high. So I stopped dosing calcium, stopped dosing magnesium. I've been dosing alkalinity. I tapered that off to half. My alk was a little bit high as well. I usually like to keep it around 9 to 10. It creeped up to like 10.5. So I think a water change might be the best way just to eliminate all of this right now and equalize the tank. So today, I was hoping to do water change. I have a new winch ready for my light system. Let me show you what I did here. So here's the light system. I built this myself, and I've lowered it down for the T5 lighting to get the proper spread on the tank. So what I want to do when I'm cleaning the tank, I tend to bump into that lighting system, and I don't want that to happen. So I've got some chain to cross tie it, and then I have a winch to mount up there so that I can raise the lighting when I'm working on the tank. So I've been meaning to do that for several weeks, and I have not had the time. So I'm going to attempt to do that, clean the tank, and do the water change today. With the regular maintenance, I just completed my test, and I'm weekly sanity checking my Neptune Trident. So we've got that going on. So here I go. I'm going to go mix my salt. I also have to refill my resin beds and my filter. And I'm going to just take you through a video tour here on my Insta360 while I do my maintenance today. So Sunday is church day for the tank, and it's going to take my whole day. So here we go. Okay, so here I am at the saltwater station with my RODI filter and holding tank. So let me show you what I'm going to do today. So these four are mixed bed resin. I have two TDS checkers. This monitors the line in, the line after the membrane, and this has two just to be sure on the final product. So when that starts hitting a 1 on the TDS scale, total dissolved solids, then I have to replace some resin. So I'll likely be changing all 3, possibly 4 of these. In the meantime, I'm going to get my, this is my freshwater holding tank. This also holds freshwater, but it is my mixing tank that I have to clean every time I use it. So this is ready to go. We're going to start this mixing, and everything's automated. I use Neptune for everything. So we're going to get the salt station pump going, and then I'm going to dump the salt in there. Then I will work on changing out my resin. Shout out to Aqua Effects. I buy all my resin from there in bulk because the beast uses a lot of media. So what most non-reefers don't know is this is really the heart of the tank here. When you have a 600-gallon system, there's no way I could go to a local pet store and get that amount of water. I'd need like a specialized vehicle and tank to do it. So I make my own water. We have pretty bad water quality here, so I've gone to a 14-stage RODI. It's basically almost like a hospital filter to create water for the tank. So you have to start out with deionized purified water, and that's what this is doing here. Then we mix the salt. The tank is above me here, so that's my chiller for the tank, and I pre-plumbed everything when we built the house for the tank. One thing, I used 1-inch pipe. I should have used 1 1/4. That 1/4 inch really adds a lot. To do it again, I would go with the largest pipe possible. I would use 1 1/2. The other thing, I was trying to make sure I had enough head pressure to raise the water 20 feet up to the tank. But anyways, I'll do another video on what I did wrong, what I do differently, because I think that would be beneficial for anybody that aspires to a system like this, because this is kind of my dream tank. As I mentioned earlier, it's a lot more work than I ever anticipated. But I do love the tank. It's very rewarding for all of us to share in the house. So anyway, here we go. Okay, so now that I have that replaced, let me give you a quick tour of the beast. Okay, so this is the deionization filter, better known as a RODI, reverse osmosis deionizing filter. So the water comes in from this black tube. It doesn't run through that filter yet. It goes to the sediment filter here first. Then it goes to a fine sediment. The configuration's a little different than originally came from Aqua Effects. I did some ICP tests on the water, and they helped me reconfigure this best for the terrible water quality I have here. I've got then the third chamber is a carbon filter. I have 2 other large carbon filters. These are numbered because I keep everything on a log as far as replacement schedule and maintenance. It then goes to the pressure pump. This pressurizes for most efficient use of the filter. I believe it's set for like between 55 and 65 pounds of pressure. The water goes through the RODI membrane, and it's about a 7 TDS after the membrane with the pressure filter running. It then goes to my mixed bed resin. So we're 1, 2, 3, 4 mixed bed resins. Let me look at my last log. I'm making approximately 3, 6, 8. I'm making approximately 1,000 gallons of water with these regenerated. So all 4 of these, they hold about 8 cups per gallon. You can see they're filling right now. I let this run until I'll let everything fill, and then I will let it run for about 5-10 minutes, monitor the TDS on the meters there until we're ready to put the water into the holding tank. Right now, this is the holding tank run, which is off. I have this just going out. It's watering the garden right now. That is one of the off flow. And then this is a bypass. So we have this completely open just to get all of that out. And I'll show you the water line in is 431. Out right now is 10. That's after this filter. This is the final product line, which is now going to the garden. It's still showing 0, but it's passing air right now. Oh, one thing I forgot. After the carbon, that goes to this sediment filter. It's just like this filter. and that is to protect the membrane from any carbon dust. So it just helps extend the life of the membrane. Also the bypass, after this has been off for a while, I run this bypass to just flush out the membrane until I'm down to 9. When I start the pump, you can see here, and just manually do this, and the pump will start there. I'm gonna go ahead and start on some stuff upstairs while this runs, and then run back down here with the salt meter to start on this. Got that mixing, it's starting to look pretty clear. One cool thing about a cone bottom tank is that you can just give it a couple stirs and it's going to create a vortex to help this mix. I'm going to check, make sure there's no salt because it sits around the ring on the bottom. That's going to help create a little vortex in the tank with the pump stirring it, and I'll come back down and check that water in a bit. Okay, we are back. I now have the bypass turned off, and this is the pressure valve. We are now at the just under 60 for the pressure in the filter, and I am at the 7 TDS. The membrane operates most efficiently at about, I'm sorry, we're a little bit over at almost 70, so I'm going to try to lower this down just a little bit to 65. Okay, so still at 7, this should be 0, 0. Perfect. And now I'm going to open this into the holding tank. Oop. Do with one hand here. Okay, so then for the runoff. So for an RODI filter, you're running off about 3 to 4 gallons to make 1 gallon of purified water. So I have these lines go to the garden. Ooh, there's a lot of pressure in there. These lines go to the garden and water the garden. This one, I needed 2 lines off for the amount of water and pressure. This one goes to the pool right now, and it's helping fill the pool. Okay, so that's all mounted. I'm gonna get these brackets ready on here. And went to Home Depot, couldn't figure out a good mount. I found this stainless steel bar, so that's gonna go on there, mount to that piece of wood that's in 3 joists, and then this. Those lag screws are good for, I believe it said 1 to 150 pounds per, 1 to 300 pounds per screw. So it should be more than enough. The actual light fixture is built from PVC board, so it's pretty light other than the lights. The chain is probably the heaviest thing on there. So here we go. So I was going to try to get this done without running to Home Depot. I've already been there 3 or 4 times kind of planning this out. I pre-painted the mount board. So it's, like I said, I've been meaning to do this for about a month. I was ready for it, but there's always that one thing. Luckily, Home Depot's a mile down the road. So real quick view with the light rig. This was all pre-built, and I've added, this has changed so much in the last 4 years. So these are individually held by cross beams so that if there is a failure, there's redundancy. I've already bought chains to cross member onto the farthest ties and grip in the middle. Now what I'm going to do, these need to be bigger. I need to get another carabiner this size, and I'm going to have secondary carabiners just so that if there is a failure from the lift system, this will catch it. It's not going to affect anything there. It's just a dual redundancy. Each one of these lights is between $900 and $1,000, so we don't want those to go in the water, and that would cause other problems for the tank. But anyways, so off to Home Depot I go. I love the sound of V8s. All right, the moment of truth. Woo.